Kaya Wanju to the first of a series of small films, episodes, that is going to look at Aboriginal cultural material. Aboriginal culture is the oldest living culture on the most ancient landmass on the face of the earth. Our people have walked these landscapes for over 3,200 generations. The first of the episodes is Boomerangs, and we're going to talk about the Aboriginal use of the boomerangs, both traditionally and in the contemporary sense. These are boomerangs here, and boomerangs have got numerous usages and purposes in our culture. And again, these objects and cultural materials go back as long as Aboriginal people have inhabited these lands. The first are a number of what we call killer boomerangs, or they're used for hunting. They don't return, they're not made aerodynamically to return. These are massive big boomerangs that are made for the purpose of bringing down bird life in trees and or in flocks. They're also used for bringing down small animals like wallabies and smaller mammals. Also, these boomerangs were used for fighting and for working out feuds between our old people in the days of our traditional cultures. And this particular object here, this magnificent, they call 7-hook boomerang, comes from the Western Desert Block. And you can see inside the boomerang there's this incredible engraving markings that are parallel lines that are given the same purpose of structure to the Wandu shields. So this particular boomerang was used in battle. It would get and click to the side of the shield, pulling the shield away from the opponent, and of course then it being used for the purpose of fighting. Then you had boomerangs that were used for ceremonial purposes, and this is a one-arm point boomerang from the northwest of the Kimberley area. And I remember the old men that would sit down and, again, when the songs were sung and the corroborees took place, they would chant the spirits from that world, and the old men would come out and dance to the sound of these, ceremonial boomerangs. Then we've got in our collection, which is really a prized part of the boomerangs, and in our language again we called kylies, are these number of pre-colonial Noongar boomerangs. And as you can see, these boomerangs have got a different type of aerodynamic. They're not shaped as per se the larger radius boomerangs that are got the aeroplane type wing that fly out into a radius and then return back to the thrower. These old Noongar kylies are made so that they would be given the power of flight by the wrist. As you would throw the boomerang, this motion of this dynamic would create this boomerang to go straight up, more like a helicopter. So these were made to fly in what they call tall timber country. The thought of creating such an object that hovers up like a helicopter, it really is ancient knowledge. This is one of the really profound kylies that's in the collection. It has been and was in an institution for many, many years, and we repatriated this back to our community. And we believe that this was one of the kylies to one of the tribal elders that were in the Perth Basin area, a Whadjuk elder. On some of the boomerangs you can actually see some of the remnants of animal blood at where they were used in the hunt, and you can still see where on the ends of this particular boomerang, and many in our collection, you've still got the ash and the burnt wood from where the old men would tender the fires at night. So they would just lightly turn the wood in the fire and keep the fire burning throughout the night by the movement. And the boomerangs were used for that as well, turning fire and keeping the fires burning through the night. And when you are able to look at the old people's marks on these boomerangs when they were used, and again you put that knowledge and that experience into the hands of our young people, of course their connection not only is to the object but to the use of the object, and they can see that through the burnt ends of the boomerang that was used for nurturing the fire. So the boomerangs are a very important part of the Kayana collection. They're an important part of our cultural materials. These were not just essential, they were pivotal in the survival of our people. And our people believe that these boomerangs have been with Aboriginal people in the sense of our survival and our evolution for as long as our people have walked this ancient land. Yagan, Wajak warrior, Janamara, what about